Hi, my name is Gold MacIver. I'm with Riveter Consulting Group. Today I want to talk about potential red flags in your resume. Whether you're sending it to myself as a recruiter or a future employer, you need to double check these things before you send out your resume. One of the first things is employment gaps. If you have a gap in your employment, it could be maybe you had a child, maybe a parent fell ill, perhaps it was another emergency, whatever it may be, you need to either put it in your resume. A lot of times what we do at the end of each job history is we'll put in italics why each role ended. If you don't have that reason listed in your resume, then you need to explain it in a cover letter. A lot of times people use what's called a functional resume to hide those job gaps. That itself is a red flag. So try to explain it in the cover letter so they don't have to ask these questions in an interview. The second thing is spelling, punctuation, and grammar. You need to have the attention to detail way in advance to make sure there's no errors on your resume. You have friends, you have mentors, send your resume to 2 to 3 people in advance. Have them double check it. There's also a program called Grammarly that can check for grammar, punctuation, and spelling to help you. The last thing you could do is send to a resume writer to help you. We have a resume writing service that we recommend to people if they want help doing their resume. The next one is attention to detail, which is what I already talked about. Don't let them find errors in your resume. If you do that, that shows you do not have attention to detail. I just got a resume the other day. It looked great, but September was spelled wrong. These little simple errors are a major turnoff to future employers. Evidence that you have a career that's gone backwards or plateaued is also a red flag. For instance, if your job title was estate manager and now you're a personal assistant, or perhaps you were a personal assistant and now you're a nanny. These are a step back in job titles. Perhaps you just needed to get a job, I understand, but try to explain this again in a cover letter. Next is failure to follow direction. When you're online looking for jobs, again, whether it's through a recruiter like myself or on a job board, a lot of times they're asking for requirements in advance. They're asking for a cover letter, maybe they're asking for a salary requirement. Follow the directions to a T. When we send out job postings, sometimes we ask for why each role ended prior. If you're not sending me those details when you respond to a job, it tells me, A, you don't really care, you're not working very hard, and you're a little bit lazy. So make sure to follow these instructions. Ignoring a salary request is also a red flag. I know it's a very difficult subject. You don't want to undercut yourself, you don't want to overprice yourself to lose the job. A lot of times when I sit down with my candidates, I ask them for what is their desired salary and what's their bottom line? What do you need to pay your bills? Don't ever take below that, obviously. So when you're working with a future employer that you've never seen, give them a range and say, this is based off of the job requirements, the job duties, the benefit package. Make sure not to undercut yourself, but also give a range that could be comfortable for both parties. Never, ever email a future employer from your current employer's email. It shows a lack of sensitivity, a lack of thoughtfulness, honestly, and you're working on company time looking for a future job. No future employer wants to see this. You have a personal email, always email from that email. And lack of resume customization is also a red flag. Each job may have different duties, requirements. Usually you're going to have to tailor your resume a little bit, but more so work on your cover letter. Make something personal to that company or employer in your cover letter to show that you really looked at what the new job is that you're applying for. Maybe you tailor some job titles in your resume. These are all red flags that you can see in advance and make sure that you don't do for yourself. Hopefully this helps. Have a great day.